Packard Bells. And this is the first one I saw today. This is a Packard Bell Legend 3550 with the exact same specs as my original Legend 822 CDTW. I haven't turned it on yet, so I don't know if it works or not, but specs are identical to it as well. It has an Intel Pentium 1 processor with 100 megahertz, a 1 gigabyte hard drive, and 16 megabytes of RAM upgradable to 128, quad speed CD-ROM, Packard Bell Navigator, of course, and Windows 95. Oh boy. Let me flip it around. Without breaking it, because I haven't even turned it on yet. Okay, there we go. Good old Packard Bell Sacramento, California sticker. Okay, we got the printer port, a serial port, 2 keyboard and mouse PS2 ports, and monitor port. Another serial, an Ethernet card, which I'm sure is not original, and the classic Packard Bell sound modem. So, not sure when this was manufactured. I'm guessing 95, 96-ish.
Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and I know we've been doing a lot of Gateway 2000 videos lately for obvious reasons, but this week we're going to take a quick little break from that and go back to what this channel is really all about, and that's Packard Bells. And this is my latest acquisition. This is one that I've been looking for since 2011. And longtime viewers of my channel who were watching back in, say, 2010, 2011 will know what this computer is. But for the newcomers, this is the Packard Bell Legend 3550. And this is the second one I've ever had in my entire life. The first one I got at Value Village for $5 back in November of 2010. And at the time, this was the closest I had ever gotten to owning my Legend 822 CDT again. Because it's essentially the same computer, just with a slightly smaller hard drive and a slightly faster modem. That's the only difference, and it's a few months newer, dating from early 1996. Yeah, kitty, that's a Packard Bell. Get used to it, kitty. You're going to see a lot of them. Unfortunately, the original Legend 3550 just suddenly died on me in January of 2011, and that was very, very heartbreaking, because again, this was the closest I had to my childhood computer at the time, and so it was gone, essentially. And I was very heartbroken, and I never did get it fixed, unfortunately, and had to get rid of it. All that remains is the original faceplate, which I used on a sleeper build years later. And the faceplate and the sleeper case is currently in my storage unit. I'm not sure how yellowed it is compared to this one, because this one is a little bit on the yellow side. If both are yellowed, we might be doing some retro brighting. But anyway, I digress. I was browsing eBay last week and found this and made an offer, and the seller accepted, and I wound up making a rather frivolous but important purchase, because again, I've been wanting another example of this for, how long has it been? 13 years now. So yeah, this is yet another Packard Bell to add to the collection. And how many does that make now? Well, let's see. Yeah, I need to get a life. Yeah, I think Kitty agrees with me. She's trying to get in the way. Yeah, you're a good kitty. So let's take a closer look at it. Okay, this is obviously not the original CD-ROM drive. It was originally a 4-speed NEC drive. I believe this is a 32-speed LG. You can see the drive bay covers are actually not as yellowed as the actual faceplate. And here's our cattail. Here's our spec sticker. Originally had a 1 gig hard drive. That is still in there, but the seller said that it's pretty much on its last legs. So hopefully it still has the system credentials on that. We can get that off while we still can before the hard drive goes completely kaput. 100 megahertz Pentium, 16 megs of RAM, and there's all the rest of the goodies. And there's our case badge. Okay, now we're on the back. According to this was built February 14th of 1996. I actually remember exactly what I was doing that day. We went on a kindergarten field trip to the Science Museum in Greensboro and learned about dental hygiene. Yeah, that was my first time on a school bus, and I thought it was going to be like the Magic School Bus, but alas it wasn't. And there's our I.O., parallel, serial, 2 PS2s, and VGA, and according to this layout, this is the PB600 board variant of this computer, again making it nearly identical to the 822. There was also a Hillary board variant. And here's our expansion slots. The original Packard Bell sound card is not here anymore. Been replaced with a standard modem. And from what I recall in the picture, I believe this is just a standard Sound Blaster 16 Vibra sound card. But I do have a Packard Bell sound card we can put in here after a while. And there's a slot here with no slot blank. That might be a good place to put the CF card adapter. Let's see, again, February 14th, 1996. This makes it about a week or two newer than the original 3550 I had. I don't recall the exact date it was built, but it was very early on in February of 96, so yeah, about on par, I'd suppose. Alright, I think we're about ready for our first power on test. Now, the eBay listing did not show it powered on. Well, actually, I think it did, yes, so I'm pretty sure it does indeed work. Turn our speakers on and our monitor. And this is just a temporary setup. I have a more Packard Bell-esque workstation I can hook this up to later, but this is just until we can get things properly going. So here we go. My first time using a Legend 3550 since January 2011. Here we go. Alright, looking good. Looks like the RAM hasn't been updated. It's still at the original 16 megs. Okay, this actually has a Western Digital hard drive in it, which I'm pretty sure means we're not going to get system credentials off of here because Packard Bell never used Western Digital. So I'm assuming this hard drive was probably replaced at some point, so yeah, that's a shame. I was hoping to get the system credentials off of here. Hard drive doesn't sound as bad as the seller said it was. Sounds like someone's got the jungle sound scheme set up on here. Woo, look at all that lovely iconage. Okay, what date does it think it is? And the date is correct. You see, these PB600 motherboards, even though they have a soldered 2032 battery on here, I have never encountered one in all my years of collecting these that was dead. I've never had to replace those batteries. I don't know how Packard Bell did it, but all these PB600 motherboards still have working batteries after almost 30 years. It's incredible. But I ain't complaining, though. That's less work for me to do. And they do have a external battery header. If the day does come, it dies, so that can be done. Add you a little Tataram battery. Yeah, I think this hard drive is probably okay. It's probably just slow because of all the programs that are on here. Okay, apparently this was Laura's computer. Going to our system properties. And this computer came to us from Arkansas, by the way. Okay, Cirrus Logic video card, as expected. Okay, the modem is an A-Open card. Okay, apparently at one time this had a iOmega's parallel zip drive hooked up to it. Yep, Creative Labs Sound Blaster 16, just as I was expecting. Yeah, 6 GB hard drive. There's no way this is original, so I'll take this NBR tool disk away. Won't be needing it today, unfortunately. Yeah. What all do we have on here as far as software? The Acrobat, Adobe, some kind of tax program. Nothing really exciting. Looks like a lot of healthcare related programs. Quicken, of course, Quicken Basic 99, QuickTime, something called Symphony, some kind of backup and restore program, looks like. Texas Live Proposal, WordPerfect. So yeah, it looks like this computer was very well used by Laura. And this looks like it's just a generic Windows 95 install. I don't see any Packard Bell related programs here. These are the last documents opened. Not sure when this computer was last used. So yeah, it looks like computer's working fine. Well, we do need to test the CD-ROM and floppy drive. Just put this random disk in there. Doesn't work, I've got a replacement. Okay, it looks like it does work, but I think this disk is blank. Let's put in this Gateway 2000 floppy disk into a Packard Bell. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, as one would say. Alright, floppy drive seems to be perfectly functional. That's always a good thing, so I can save that spare for another computer. Let me see if I can find a CD to test the CD drive with. I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping this in here. It just doesn't look very matching for this system, but I might keep it in here for now, just until I can find a more appropriate one. But I do need to find a CD, and I think I took them all into the office, so I will be right back. Okay, let's just try this CD out. It's just a generic Windows 95 OSR2 CD. Totally legit, by the way. Sounds like it's struggling a little bit. It's making a noise that I really don't feel confident about. So I think before we do anything else, we'll probably have to replace the CD drive on here. So I'll see if I can scrounge something up. Okay, I scrounged up a few parts to get this thing going the way I want it to. Did not mean to bring that. I'm not going to use that network card. Instead, I'm going to use this ISA 3Com card. Got ourselves a Packard Bell sound card, CF card adapter, and a CD-ROM drive that I hope will work. So let's go ahead and power it down. A little on the slow side, as you can tell, but here it goes. Sure likes to seek that floppy drive. Alright. Get this taken apart. Okay, I got it mostly opened. This panel's still on. A couple of the screws were stripped, so I had to use this little nut driver to get them off, but I think we're good now. See here, there's our Vibra 16 and our modem, which we will go ahead and remove from this machine. A little bit of dust in here. And I will be saving this for a future project, so that will not go to waste. Modem, however, will probably get tossed because I just have no interest in owning any of these modems anymore. They're kind of useless, especially since I don't have a landline. Go. Alright, let's go ahead and add our Packard Bell sound card. There we go. Connect the CD audio. Comes right here. Alright, so it's more like a Packard Bell now. And we'll add our network card. ISA network cards tend to work a little bit better in these PB600 systems for some reason. So that's why I elected to use it. Okay. And now the CF adapter. Always a controversial choice, I will admit. Okay, let's make sure I get this put in right. Go. Don't get tangled up in anything. Oh, I see there's a screw here that we left. Alright, now disconnect some power to it. Wherever that went. There we go. Alright, that's all the expansion cards. Now all we need to do is the CD-ROM. I just realized it isn't even screwed in on this side. Interesting. Okay, I got the new CD drive in. Hopefully it works. Sometimes these PB600 boards can be a little bit picky with these, but you know, it might be a good idea to plug it in. Take two. Okay, found the CD-ROM, so I think we're good. Operating system not found. That's because I forgot to put the CF card in. No big deal, because we have another little chore to do to get this thing where I want it to be. I want to update the BIOS to the latest. So let it boot from this floppy. This always makes me nervous. This would be a bad time for a car to hit a power pole, wouldn't it? Alright, press any key to restart. Alright, now we're at version 1.20. Check the BIOS real quick for a few things. Date is right, but the time is a little bit off. Partly because this came from Arkansas, and I believe they're in the Central Time Zone. So we need to adjust this for Eastern Time. Kitty, that's a slot blank. You don't want that. Okay, it is 1:24 p.m. I think she likes Packard Bells too. There we go. Being a little weird for a moment there. Yeah, I'll leave COM-A disabled for now. I think everything else looks good. Alright, let's do this. Let's do a master CD restore. CD. Wouldn't it be something if putting it back together is when it all falls apart? This happened before. Okay, picked up the CF card. Yeah, I think the CD drive looks a lot better in this computer than that broken one did. I don't want to jinx anything, but so far, so good. I'm just going to get out of here. Because for some reason, these boot disks have trouble formatting through the menus, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, I think that's a FAT32 partition, so we'll have to do away with that. This is Windows 95 RTM. Okay, format is complete. I'll go ahead and let it reboot, and we'll get the restore going. Alright, we'll go ahead and restore the hard disk drive. Don't have a format number, unfortunately, so we will be doing a generic format. Just a shame. Alright, I guess we'll let this rot away, and I've got to go run out and pick up some groceries, so hopefully this will be done when I get back. Alright, I'm back, and just as I thought, everything completed successfully. So in a moment we will reboot, and hopefully it will boot into Windows 95. I'll just Control-Alt-Delete that. Cat knocked over my cheer wine. Thankfully it didn't spill. There we go. Well, I always love seeing this screen. Always means something good's about to happen. Yes, and it will meet my computing needs. And that will be the cat scratching the furniture. I guess it was normal. You know, again, so far so good. I don't want to jinx anything, but everything's been working fine. I need to check my storage unit for the faceplate of the original 3550 I had 13 years ago and see if it looks less yellow than this one, which I don't know if it is or not. It might be about the same. If so, we may be doing some retro brighting when things warm up a little bit outside. Thankfully, this computer faceplate is small enough that I think I can just put it in a tub of water and solution and maybe put it on the hood of my car. It's kind of hard to retro bright when you live in an apartment. I don't have room to do one of those indoor UV setups. Drum roll, please. All right, one more restart at least. Well, I think two more, but we're looking pretty good. We'll have to set up that CD driver for DOS later. Always such an exciting screen to see, getting ready to run Windows 95 for the first time. I actually remember seeing this on the 822 the day we brought it home. Almost there. Not worried about Exchange. I just faintly heard the ta-da sound. I think the speaker needs to come up a little bit. Okay, this is the first real boot up. I can't believe nothing's gone wrong yet. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Should not have said that. I need to do some auto adjusting there.
Welcome from Packard Bell. We offer you two computing environments to choose from: Packard Bell's Navigator or Microsoft Windows. You may also begin by taking a quick lesson on using the mouse.
Alright, so far so good. Let's see if it's picking up everything. MPU 401 compatible's not working. I'm not seeing the network card either. Interesting. Okay, add new hardware, did not find anything. Not a good sign. So I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting. I figured this would have to happen eventually on this. Everything was going too good for a while. Okay, I think I got everything straightened out. For some reason it just didn't like that 3COM ISA card, so I replaced it with a 3COM PCI card, and there you go. It seems to be working just fine. Still having issues with the MPU 401, but I think something might be broken on the sound card. But that's no big deal. That's nothing I'm going to be using. So, yeah, I think everything is fully functional, which I'm very glad about.
Welcome from Packard Bell. We offer you two computing environments to choose from, Packard Bell's Navigator or Microsoft Windows. You may also begin by taking a quick lesson on using the mouse.
Alright, everything looks good. Everything's there in the Navigator. Of course, we can't look at the system credentials because they don't exist anymore. I'm glad to have another 3550 again after 13 years. And hopefully this one will last me more than 2 months. Okay, I'm adding a extra segment to this video. I just wanted to show how I've got this permanently set up now. Well, I guess you can consider it permanent. It's been a few days since the last part of this video, and there have been some changes. I've changed the CD drive again to something I just like a little bit better. One thing I did have to change, unfortunately, was the sound card. I was having issues with that one particular Packard Bell sound card, but I happen to have another one, and this one seems to be working fine. The issue I was having on the other one was I couldn't get the game port to work, so using this Gravis gamepad wouldn't do anything. It just wouldn't detect it, so replaced it, and that also got rid of the MPU 401 error in Device Manager, so very happy about that. Something I wasn't too happy about, though, was the power supply. I was doing some stuff on here. I was installing something, and I was on the other side of the room working on my main Windows 11 PC, and I noticed suddenly the computer just turned off. It just like someone had unplugged it from the outlet, and I could not get it to turn back on again. So I determined that what had happened was the power supply had just simply died. It died a quiet death, though, thankfully. There were no sparks, no smoke, no explosions. It just fizzled out, I guess you could say. So I took a spare power supply out of another Packard Bell I'm not using at the moment, and I've temporarily put it in here, and it seems to be working just fine. I'll have to look into getting another AT-style power supply for this computer. But the biggest change I've made to it is notice that the front panel here is a bit wider. Yes, I've gone and retro-brighted it. Thank you to my mother-in-law and father-in-law for letting me use their yard for doing this. And I think it came out looking really, really good. This was on a Saturday, and it was the last sunny day for a while, so it was the perfect day to do it. I think it looks good. The only thing that went wrong, unfortunately, was the spec sticker became a little bit discolored. It's not the end of the world. It could have been a lot worse, but I was a little disappointed in that, especially since I've retro-brighted these things before with the spec sticker on it, including even the 822. And the spec sticker never did this, so that's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. It could look a lot worse, like I said. But most importantly, the case is looking beautiful now. I had some spare side panels and top cover that I replaced it with, so I didn't have to retro-bright those pieces. So yeah, it looks really good now. And of course, I've hooked it up to a Packard Bell monitor, Packard Bell keyboard, Packard Bell mouse. Tight squeeze here, but you know what? It works. And I'm very, very pleased with it. Go into Device Manager real quick, and I'll show you the yellow exclamation mark is gone, although now we do have a communications port resource conflict, but that's to be expected on these Packard Bells. It's very, very common, but doesn't really affect anything. And I also, just today, set up a second CF card for this computer running Windows 3.1. This computer never shipped with Windows 3.1, but the hardware that's in it was used in Windows 3.1 computers, so works just fine, obviously, but of course right now we're running Windows 95. Even got Netscape Navigator on here. I haven't used that, I don't think ever. I don't think I've ever really used Netscape before. Why did I do that? I already did that. So I'll go ahead and conclude the video right here. Very happy to have another Legend 3550 in the collection. I'm glad that the power supply died a quiet death and didn't take out the motherboard with it. That would have been horrible, have another one of these go out on me, but you know what? It's been 13 years. I'm smarter. At least I think I'm smarter. And I have more spare parts now to get this fixed if something ever was to happen. So I think we can keep this 3550 going a lot longer than the first one. So anyway, until next time, this is Billy Core signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook and X. You may also support me on Patreon if you'd like. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.